There was a priest who was preparing a dying man for his long journey into the dark night. Whispering firmly, the priest said, "Denounce the devil, let him know how little you think of his evil." The dying man said nothing. The priest repeated his order. Still, the dying man said nothing. The priest asked, "Why do you refuse to denounce the devil and his evil?" The dying man said, "Until I know exactly where I am heading, I don't think I ought to be aggravating nobody." Dear friends, in Jesus Christ, today's readings resonate with a timeless human question: what are we to do? We hear it echoed in Zephaniah's joyous call to Zion, in Paul's letter to the Philippians, and most directly in the Gospel as the crowds flock to John the Baptist at the Jordan. This question is not just about tasks or obligations, it is about something deeper: our yearning for meaning, for purpose, and for direction amidst our life. As we stand just 2 weeks from Christmas, this question takes on special urgency. The season demands pulls us in many directions: gifts to buy, meals to plan, deadlines to meet. Perhaps some of us are carrying heavier burdens like illness, strained relationships, grief, or uncertainty about the future. In the noise of it, we might quietly ask, "What am I to do?" It is comforting to know that this question is not new. It is the same question posted to John the Baptist by the crowds, tax collectors, and soldiers. Each asked them, "What then should we do?" John does not respond with a generic advice. Instead, he offers simple, specific actions tailored to their lives. To the crowds, he says to share with those in need. To the tax collectors, he says to practice honesty. To the soldiers, he says to avoid abuse of power. John's message is clear. The path to preparing our hearts for God does not require extraordinary gestures. It is about living our ordinary lives with extraordinary integrity and compassion. This ties beautifully to Paul's encouragement in his letter to the Philippians: "Rejoice in the Lord always. Again, I will say, rejoice." St. Paul reminds us that true joy and peace comes from entrusting everything to God. This peace, which surpasses all understanding, is not the absence of struggle, but the presence of Christ in the midst of it. So, as we approach Christmas, the question lingers: what are we to do? Perhaps the answer is closer than we think, where God is calling us in our everyday lives to act with love and faithfulness. Is there someone who needs our kindness, our forgiveness, our time? Let me share a story. There was once a man named Peter who worked long hours to provide for his family. During Advent, his young daughter, Emily, asked him to help her build a snowman. But Peter, weighed down by deadlines, told her, "Not now, maybe later." Days passed, and Emily asked again and again. But there was always another task, another reason to say, "Not now." One evening, Peter came home late to find Emily sitting by the window, her face pressed against the glass. She turned to him with tears in her eyes and whispered, "Daddy, I think the snow is melting." In that moment, Peter realized he had been so busy preparing for a perfect Christmas that he missed the simple, fleeting moments to be present for what truly mattered. He set everything aside, bundled up, and together they built a small, imperfect snowman under the fading moonlight. That night, Peter learned a lesson he would carry with him forever. Preparing for Christmas is not about doing more. It is about being more present, more loving, more aware of the gifts already around us. So, this Advent, may we pause and reflect on what truly matters. Let us open our hearts to God, who is always with us, and allow His love to guide our action, small and big.